Hey, good evening. I am super excited to be back with you live. Want to talk to you guys a little bit about willpower. So have you ever, committed to a goal, super excited, and found yourself falling short a lot of times just a few days later? I'm sure I got some hands up for that one. So feel free to write "yeah me" in the comments below if that sounds like you, but I want to show you some interesting information about willpower, and maybe it will all kind of click, and then we're going to talk about just a small tweak that you can actually make to gain the strength to overcome this interesting fact about the willpower. All right. Pretty much all of us have fallen short on a goal. We've fallen short most of the time with that goal of consistently following through with the action. So it's kind of that idea of, I hear it time and time again, I know what I need to do, I just need to do it. And so we beat ourselves up usually because we're like, why can't I just do this, So if that sounds like you, right? Me, right? So exciting news. You just need a little help finding that strength to do a few little things brilliantly instead of this huge grandiose thing. So if you see me looking down, I do have my little cheat sheet notes because I really want to stay on point here. But so it's about doing these small things brilliantly and consistently, but where a lot of us falter is we think we need to do this big overhaul of life to reach those goals. So we're going to go into that in a little bit more in depth. But, we get really excited about our new routine. Like, we're jacked up. Like, yes, I got this routine. Sometimes with a, weight loss plan or a toning up or an exercise, we're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to put my shoes by my bed. I got my snacks packed for tomorrow. I've got my cool water bottle. Like, we're really like, okay, once and for all, this time is it. I'm doing it. I'm going, and you genuinely have this excitement, right? So if that sounds like something you've ever experienced, right? Excitement, in the comments below, because we do that. We get jacked up excited, right? And then somehow, some way, usually within just a few short days, we're like, what the heck? We go from like, I'm packing my snacks and I'm drinking my water. We're having these nutritious, balanced breakfast, lunch, dinner. We're having awesome snacks in between. We're like drinking our water. We're like tagging our friends and being like, hey, you drinking your water? And then all of a sudden, like, you're eating out, you grab the bagels from work, you like forgot water even existed, I don't think I'm the only one that's ever felt that way. Maybe you have too, let me know, right? But so it's really, we get sidetracked. We get completely sidetracked. We're like, what happened? Where did the determination go? Because just a few short days ago or a few short weeks ago, you were gung-ho excited once and for all, this is going to change, right? So where did the willpower and the self-discipline go? So here's the interesting little quirky thing about willpower. And I was listening to this, I was doing an audiobook, right? And I was listening to this scientific study. And as they're explaining it, even knowing what I know about nutrition and being a coach for 9 years, I totally thought what was going to happen at the end was going to be the opposite. So I'm going to tell you about this study, and you'll have to kind of let me know what way you think it would go, right? But so believe it or not, willpower is an exhaustible resource, meaning the more we actually use it, we like use it up, right? And so we can't actually rely on it the same way we could when we got all excited. I thought this was really interesting and weird, and it didn't make sense. So I listen in, right, to the study, but it loses strength over just a short period of time. So here's the study. No, I'm going to tell you this first. So likely discovered this, right? You likely discovered this phenomenon that I'm about to talk about just this past week. If you made any resolution, or maybe you didn't make a resolution, but you were just like, I'm just going to do it, right? Because sometimes we don't use the grandiose, I made this resolution. But a lot of us, like through osmosis, decide that we're going to get a little healthier as the new year kicks in. And if that's not you, maybe you made other goals. Maybe you have business plans. Maybe you have plans to reconnect with a family member. Like whatever it is, right? Whatever the goal is, we find most often, if you already fell off, I want to see a yes if you already fell off the bandwagon, or a no, you are still going strong. You can be like the strong man guy, and just know it's normal that in the next couple of weeks, if you're still the strong man guy, that it might happen, right? So there was this study, they took college kids, and they put, they did the two groups side by side, and they put one group of college kids in a room, and there were cookies and there were radishes. I am not a radish fan, just so you know. So if you're going to put me in a room with veggies, at least put me in one with ones I like. But so we had cookies and radishes. And one group was told that they could not eat the radishes, but they could have as many cookies as they want. I want to be in that group. Anybody else want to be in the cookie group? And the other group was told that they could eat as many radishes as they wanted, but they could not eat the cookies. So the crazy thing about this is the people who were told they could not have the cookies, when they immediately went into another kind of testing phase of this experiment that required them to utilize willpower, they failed completely, versus the group that was actually told before they could have at it and eat all the cookies they wanted. So I actually thought that it was going to be like the ones that like exercised the willpower to begin with, like already like built that muscle. So like going into the next experiment, they had already built up this willpower, so they were going to be good to go. Anybody else like maybe thought that might have been the way it would go, but it actually went the opposite. The ones that had to restrain from the cookies couldn't take it again in the next round and actually faltered and failed, versus the ones that were able to eat the cookies. Interesting, right? So it's an exhaustible resource, and that's kind of, there was a lot more into this. If you want to look into this more, it was from a book called Switch, How to Change Things When Change is Hard. I forget the authors, but if you want it, I can probably find that out for you. But again, it's called Switch, How to Change Things When Change is Hard. And it was a study that deeply dove into this idea and explained how we really can't just rely on willpower and determination alone. I tell people all the time, I was not successful from going to plus size clothing to a size 2-4 because of willpower. Like, I'm gonna turn around and eat 8 cookies just as much as you might. I'll eat you, probably most of you, any given time of the day. Give me a cake, give me a pizza, give me whatever. I'm going to eat that thing, right? So it wasn't because of the willpower. It was because some of the things that I want to explain to you next, okay? So what we really need to do is we need to come up with something that strengthens and supports the action we want to take. So in this case, if we're wanting to eat healthy, we're wanting to have better, well-balanced meals, we're wanting to cook at home, like whatever that case, it can't just be like, I've decided. I've heard, if you followed me before, or maybe some other people, you've probably heard it talk about like, well, what's the reason behind it? What's your why? Why do you want to do this? But it's kind of got to be even more than that. It's got to be a belief. So we've got to hardwire your subconscious so that the actions that you want to take actually happen automatically. And you're like, Erin, what the heck are you talking about? How do I wire my subconscious, right? So it really comes down to, and I want you to actually play along with me, but if this sounds like you, any of these, like put a comment in below, like, yep, that's me, 1, 2, whatever. So have you ever said to yourself, I lose weight fast, but then I gain it all back? And you say this every time. Well, I just have a really hard time because I'm addicted to sugar. Well, I just love bread and pasta so much. I've got to have my 2 glasses of wine a day. And when I go out on the weekends, like, come on, Erin, I've got to have my beer. Like we say these things. Well, I just stink at meal planning. Like, I really just stink. I don't like vegetables. I don't know what to do because I just don't. Here's one. I know if you did, none of those sounded like you, and if they did, comment below. I don't like water, right? So there's all these different things that we've got on a continuous cycle in our head. And what I'm here to tell you is every time you say that, you actually cement that in your subconscious. So every time you say it, they're going to make your subconscious there, like it's a group of people. There, your subconscious is going to actually, it's got to be in cohesive, I can't think of the right word, but it's got to be a match for what you're telling yourself. You actually subconsciously act on because it's got to be right. I got a 3-year-old coming to interrupt. But so what I encourage you to do is it's got to become a daily ritual, okay? A daily ritual, and this could literally take you 60 seconds, but a daily ritual of what is it that you actually want to achieve. So maybe it's you want to be a size 6. So you're going to be like, I am a size 6. I eat well-balanced meals. I love water. Like, it sounds like the kookiest little thing. And hear me out. If you're like, Erin, you are off your rocker. This lady sounds crazy. I want you to just give it a shot, right? What do you have to lose if it actually works? How cool is that? But you've created these continuous stories in your subconscious about why it's not going to work or where you are strong and where you are weak. You can say something in the end. I'm almost done. Okay, baby? But if you start creating this new story, your subconscious will actually start making the right actions, like automatically. Whereas when we're like, okay, I really want to do good. No, I can't have that cookie. No, I can't have that pizza. I've got to eat the salad. No, I can't do that. You're utilizing the willpower that we talked about earlier when I went over that study with you, that willpower actually is an exhaustible resource. So you've only got so much of it to use, right? So we've got to kick it into gear where it's not like this chore, like, oh, but I can't, right? Because we can only last so long with the, oh, but I can't. And you know I'm all about, if you followed me before, you know I'm all about keeping healthy simple and never restricting yourself. And part of that is this mentality of this willpower, right? We don't want to utilize it all up. We want to make small, consistent changes. It's not about the grandiose big things. But if you start telling yourself what your new habits are, I'm great at meal planning. I love my water. I'm going to be a size 6. I am 130. It sounds kooky, I know. Try it on for size. And then focus on taking an action and getting really good at it instead of trying to change every single thing about who you are and your daily habits and your rituals. They're programmed. They're what you do all the time. So trying to break it all at once, you're set up to fail. And it's okay if you do. You're creating new habits. But what if you just decided, this week I'm mastering my water. I am going to get good at water. I'm going to add another glass every single day. I'm going to get good. And maybe one day you mess up, but I'm great at water. Okay, so I got the water down. Now I'm going to add in some healthy snacks instead of the bag of chips. I'm going to add in, a cheese stick instead of, the bagel at work. Those kinds of things. Then, hey, I'm going to start making new meals at home because I want to get better at cooking so that I actually like the healthy food, because the macaroni and cheese sounds amazing. It's super fast. It's super quick. I'm going to find some healthy foods that I like just as much, instead of trying to do it all at once and feeling like you failed because you took too much on. All right? So concentrate on the small stuff. Reprogram. Anything now, when you start to say it tomorrow, like, oh, but I can't do this, or I like this, or I don't like this, that's creating a reason why you're utilizing your willpower instead of doing everything on automation. Start recreating your story. Literally write it down on a piece of paper. Read it when you get up in the morning or when you go to bed, maybe at lunchtime when willpower might be waning a little bit, and consistently say these things. It takes time to create that habit as well. So let yourself go create a new habit, a fundamental change in the subconscious, so that you're actually able to finally, once and for all, put it all into automation and not have to keep telling yourself what you have to do and utilizing up your storehouse of your willpower, because it's exhaustible. All right. And again, if you wanted to check out that book, it's Switch: How to Change Things When Change is Hard. All right. And if you want some baby step helps, it's not just baby steps, but if you didn't hear, I have that Survivor kit out, just released it a couple weeks ago. Write kit in the comment below if you'd like to check that out. Super, super duper cheap and affordable. And it's going to give you some coaching from me, as well as all kinds of tools where you can start to create something. But it's still something that creates a habit that you still have to fundamentally change, or it doesn't work, just like every single thing out there. So I'm not saying like this is going to make that fundamental change for you. It's going to give you tips and tricks and really break it down to make healthy simple. But we've still got to make those fundamental changes. So hope this helps. I went from an 18 down to a size 2-4. I had this one and another one in between that and lost it again. I'm just here to really make it easy for you, break it down, make it simple, because we so overcomplicate it. All right, so have a beautiful and healthy day, and keep healthy simple. You want to say one more thing? What do you want to say?
I want to say
Hurry up.
I'm gonna celebrate my birthday at school.
You are. In 2 days, this little miss will be 4. So everybody can say, happy birthday, Kensley. All right. Mwah. I love you. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Keep healthy simple.
Bye.